Welcome to the Port Charles Update with your hosts, Mish and Mel.
Hello.
Hello.
It's Friday.
I am so grateful, and for people in Ontario and the other side of Canada, but not Quebec, it's
Okay.
Family Day weekend. 'Cause
What?
It's celebrated in other provinces, like, because I have a branch in Calgary and anyways, all those
I
other
don't
places,
get
and
it.
they are
I
closed as
don't
well.
get
Quebec
it.
is legit the only one, but our company gives it to them. But so I'm super, super duper excited.
Well, happy Family Day. It means
Thank
nothing to me
you.
because we don't celebrate that here.
You don't celebrate your family? Got it.
I feel like I have earned this Friday. Like the week I felt was fast,
Yes.
but brutal. And I felt like I climbed it like it was a mountain.
I love that for you.
Yeah. I feel like I've earned it. So look, we got looped in on a pretty significant meeting at Laura's office. I was there. Were you there?
I was there. I participated, yes. I took some
So
notes.
this is where I was starting to go, what? Did I miss something about like Anna's story on the show as to why I'm not understanding the vibe? Okay.
Okay.
So as they unite to talk about Anna, Mac is just like, oh, she's incoherent. And I'm like, nope.
But
She was
we heard
speaking
her
pretty
talk.
clearly to me. She said I wasn't kidnapped. I was taken
Yes.
in October. Yes, she said some stuff that you found difficult to believe. And what we know that is somewhat not true. Like, I don't think she saw Faison. She saw I was about to say his guitar, his cigar. I was like, what does she see?
Love it. Love it.
So, so the thing is, like, she was coherent. You just have a personal opinion about what she said. Just because you don't agree with what was coming out of Anna's mouth does not make her incoherent. So
I
there was
love
that
this.
part. Okay. But then things got wackier. They started to imply that Anna was irreplaceable as commissioner
Oh, I was
in
thinking
a
about
room
you.
in a room where there's two people who have commissioned, like Max
Mhm.
there, Dante's there. What? Like, so many people have done that job. Like, she left the job. She literally took this job on in a flippant way because Agent Cates wouldn't talk to her. So she's
Yeah.
like, yeah, well, I'm going to become commissioner. And when you get murdered, guess who's not going to solve that? So she got her revenge
Got
there.
lost in
She
the paperwork.
showed him. And that was another thing. Oh my gosh, like she was a great detective. And I'm like, what? I don't think in all the like portions of time that she was commissioner that she did solve a case, but it was so bizarre to me. Like Mac is like eulogizing her. And like
Yes.
numerous people keep saying this, but she was so mentally strong. I'm just like, okay, but like, I don't understand. Okay, she cries on the job all the time, like all the time. And so you're like, so this woman who cries while policing, detectiving, commissioning, you're like, she's so mentally strong. Like, why would someone like that break after being kidnapped?
It's
Like, why would trauma affect her now? The trauma was in her past. Why would she have a breaking point? Like, I mean it on so many different levels. On the level that she's a human and all humans have a breaking point, but also on the
yes.
level that I'm partially making fun of her and just wanting to understand because I think they're working very hard to
Mhm.
tell us. I feel like they're talking to me. They're just like telling me. They're like, she is
Like, Mish,
mentally
listen up.
strong.
Listen up.
She's a good detective. This one blew my mind. She's the heart of her family?
I couldn't get over that one.
What?
I could not get over
I
that one.
was like, wait a second. What show have I been watching? Because none of that occurred to me. I'm like, she's the glue. She literally has abandoned her family multiple times. Like, I don't even understand. Like, she visits Robin, but Robin was like responsible, She was
Yes.
responsible. Like, if you're
Yes.
talking about the glue of that clan, I thought it was Mac. Like, Mac's like, I am down
1000%.
to raise all the children that you guys abandon. Like, he's been raising abandoned children, like, since the beginning of time. And so And so to hear Anne, it's like, fine. I can give Felicia credit. She popped back in and she did resume a role, right? But
Yes.
after Anna's life, in air quotes, she came back and was like, I'm doing me. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to buy this house and I'm going to date Valentine. And then like, I'm going to pretend he doesn't have a daughter. Like, you know what I mean? I'm going to be all about me and Valentine because that's what it was like when they dated. Like, it's not like she came back and was like, I'm a family person. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. Like, she did her job and like she would text Emma, and she'd be like, you want a boy to move in? Sure. I'll text him too. Like, that's what happened. Like that is, to me, that is like the extent of Anna's like devotion to her family. Like, do you not remember when, like, the wedding happened and, like, I think Maxie might have been in the hospital and she was, like, mad at Anna for not telling her that the guy she was about to marry was, like, not well in the head, like, face on sun and all? And
Yes.
Anna was, like, fumbling with her words, like, I don't know, like, I considered it, like, would I be loyal to, like, my niece, or to this guy that I'm not even sure I'm related to, that is mine, my nephew, my son? What? She's the glue. She's the glue. I was like, okay. So, I mean, this is what I think. Think that this is sort of the transition of like, the Anna Jocelyn bond,
Okay.
right? Like, in a way, I felt like Mac was eulogizing her. Like, she's obviously not going to have a job. I'm just going to say that. Like, I'm like, is that okay to say? Dante is commissioner. He said it's permanent.
Yes,
She's
he did.
like, on this never-ending relocation stint. Like, I would be exhausted if I was her. If I was being relocated since Halloween, fatigued. I'd be really
Truly.
fatigued. So, like, so she's not going to be commissioner when she comes back. The WSB has not wanted anything to do with her for a long time, right? This was pretend.
Yes.
So she's not been an agent. So this is where she's going to be an experienced agent that like Jocelyn can go to, right? So I feel like in a way they were eulogizing her career.
Ooh, I like that much better, and it makes much more sense in my brain that way.
Yeah, like I feel like they're kind of saying like, "Oh, Anna." Like I don't know her role at all in this whole story. Like I am just like when you watch her in a hospital, you're like, "Okay, Anna." And then they're making comments, right? They've been making comments. Like Pascal had a quick talk with Jens and he's like, "Everything went according to plan." I'm like, "That's a plan?"
What was I still don't
That's
understand the plan.
exactly. So you're hearing them go like, she's supposed to be some kind of cog in there. It's not even a well-oiled machine. It's a machine.
It's really
Like
not.
it's not. It's just a cog. Like they basically got all these pieces and they're like, let's make this work. And then when you remember like the fact that Jen's poisoned Maxie,
Yes.
it's there's just so many parts to this, like Brett is like being forced to work in their lab. And then there's like Lucas there. And then there's like the Carly aspect is like, oh no, she's a lurker. Like Marco's just so worried about Carly. Then there's this whole wait till Jens has to deal with Lucy Coe and Ava. Like there's so many random, needless, not sure parts to this
Yes.
whole story. And like Jason came to learn more parts, right? Jason, spoke to Felicia.
Yes.
That was the moment where I started to question whether Jason was reordering things, whether Anna does come before Britt.
I know.
What do you think?
1000%. I thought about our conversation last week in terms of like, oh my gosh, like Britt is like one up on Anna, but like Britt lost her ranks right away because we also know that based on his real life that he's taking a little bit of a hiatus. What could he possibly do? Where could he possibly go in this storyline except for helping Anna,
Yeah.
her escaping the mental institution and them going on this adventure together to figure out this whole Faison situation, right?
What? Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
girl.
But yeah, they have to solve something. Like 100% Jason's going to solve or try to solve something. So that was a revelation, right? Realizing that the actor was going to like take a break until the summer.
Yes.
And like you pointed out, that's like kind of the most obvious thing. He feels really bad. He's not hearing what he thought he would hear. He's learning all this stuff about Anna, which makes him feel like someone's messing with her or something is really, really wrong.
Yes.
He was really firm with Felicia, like, do not go to the WSB, like, about any of this. And she is choosing to trust him. But now it's making me go, okay, well, did that factor in to the way that they told the Brit and Jason story?
The departure?
Yeah, like the fact that he's gonna be taking a break, do you think that had a role to play in the way that they've depicted, Jason and Brit? And like the fact that the most significant moments happened off screen, like that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like those scenes are usually pivotal, in terms of kind of solidifying a relationship, like they're together. But it's just the speed, the way that they showed it, like we have a lot of romance. Like, I mean, if you consider Jason and Britt, who have so much history, I mean, look at the attention they're giving to Lulu and Nathan. It might be smaller, but it's still paced well. And you're still showing me a story. Like you're showing me something develop. That's not how I feel they were showing Jason and Britt. I found it really hard to get behind.
I agree, and maybe his departure does have something to do with it, but I also genuinely don't think they know what they're doing with the storyline. Not in a bad way, but in the
Well,
sense that there's so many layers to all of this. There are so many layers to the Carly relationship. There's so much history, and I just think they're still trying to navigate these new spaces.
yeah, you're right. That's a valid point because you can tell that there just doesn't seem to be like to me the story doesn't seem solid. It's very hot and
Yes,
cold.
same.
And it's like when you compare it to other storylines, it's like literally you could choose to tell whatever story you want, but it's non-committal.
Yes, absolutely.
That's all that I think, comes across when it comes to the Jason and Brit. But one thing that I feel like I'm gonna be right about is I said Lucas and Brit will come out of this closer.
Oh
Like
my
they're gonna
gosh.
bond. And
Yes.
so I think from what we've seen, like we've talked about, a lot about Jason and Brit, mostly just to process because we didn't know what to make of it. And when we talk about them romantically, we're like, well, who else is on the canvas? Like if not Jason, what? But one thing we have talked about both characters is that these are two people who have been through a lot and have a little growing up to do. And maybe it doesn't have to happen in a couple. And when I think about, Lucas and I think about Brit, for me, I'm like, the thing about Brit, since the moment she came back, it's like Jason's not the core of her story. Like Brit's character does not need Jason to make a story. She has a lot going on as a character and a lot could be done with her. But so I can just see with Jason fading out, I would actually be way more interested in seeing like a Lucas and Brit just relationship blossom. Like I would actually be really, really satisfied with that because that I think could be told with direction and in a genuine way. And I would love to kind of see that banter back and forth.
Okay, I have like and visualize this moment. Okay.
Okay.
So we had a scene this week with Britt in her new facilities and the catacombs
Yeah.
and her scene with Marco and that whole conversation. But before we jump into that, just that space, seeing that new space and what you're
Yeah.
seeing, I feel that Pascal is going to either find Lucas going through the catacombs or lure him there. And then Britt and Lucas will be trapped in that lab. So they're kind of like their relationship is going to fast forward a little bit. So they have to bond.
Hmm.
And then we'll get to see the fun stuff afterwards. And the person who's going to save them, it has to be either Carly or Joss.
It's gotta be Joss. Gotta be Joss. That would be so good. It make me
Right?
feel
And then
even
the shock.
dumber. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, unless everybody kind of converges, right? So okay,
Okay.
we're kind of jumping ahead talking about like this Lucas Brit in the catacombs, but I definitely thought that today, because Elizabeth gave him advice saying you should go get
Yes.
your stuff and move out. It's dangerous. I'm like, exactly, it's dangerous. I would buy new stuff. Like I would not be
Truly,
going back
come
there
on.
because literally she's sending him straight into the catacombs. So when she gave that advice, I was like, so he's gonna be locked up with Brit for sure.
Yes. Okay. You felt that.
So, okay. So we're talking about, how things landed for Lucas, but some stuff happened before we even got there.
Oh,
So,
yes.
okay. And it starts with our favorite
Oh
non-couple.
my
Like every time
gosh.
I write, notes, like I'll write whatever character I'm talking about. But when I'm talking about Carly and Valentine, I'm always writing like Carly and future lover. Like that's how I write it. So these guys, as usual, having the sexiest banter. Okay. This whole like, you can't go to Windermere. I'll go to Windermere. And them like
Yeah.
showing concern. Like, why do you care? Like, it's just craziness to watch. And then I couldn't remember his name. So I said, oh my gosh, Agent Boo Boo's at the door. So now for me, Agent Boo Boo Cullum came to see Carly, and I'm like,
Yes.
this is insane. So he's threatening her
Insane.
with an Anna breakdown. Like, how inappropriate is that? Could you imagine? your partner's boss shows up to your house and be like, I think you're distracting him. I'd be like, this is so inappropriate. Have you talked about like calling a meeting? I don't know.
Right?
Like, it was just so not cool. But I love that, like, Carly was, she's prepared, right? She knows more than people realize that she knows. But I think that was scary, him bringing up
Oh,
Valentine, and he's like
yes.
legit in the next room.
Right?
Yeah, and then she got some info, so I kinda didn't realize that, right? Like, oh, this is kinda cool for their mission because now she has some info and somebody who can see through all of this, right? Because Jason is following his gut, right? Good
Right.
instincts. But Valentine is following his gut, but also his experience, and he has way more information about these people. So I kinda love this just confidence that exists between them, you know? Like, within their relationship, there just happens to be a lot of knowing. Like, they know a lot of stuff together. I don't know why, but I love that for them. So there's that part to it, the whole Anna thing, but like, it's not a factor. Like, yes, he loves and cares for Anna,
Mm.
but like, yeah, it's not a thing, right?
No.
And I think that's what they're playing with. Like right now for Valentine, like Anna is someone who's significant. And I think if we continue watching, we might see maybe Valentine poke around about significant people for her. Like we know that he teases her about Brennan, but I'm kind of wondering if her past is gonna get brought up, like Jason or like Sunny or anything like that. Like he already knows and has teased the fact that they don't know. Like that's a huge leverage, right? Knowing
Yes.
that he has her in a way that they don't. And again, I just love the way that he is with her. He just sort of throws her in the fire and trusts her. Like he takes all of those points that for a lot of people found reckless. And I think he just sees the whole package. And again, Carly has grown as a person, but
Yes.
also, the thing is, it's not just that they have a mutual goal. They have a very significant mutual goal. Like, there's a lot on the line. The most important thing for the two of them is on the line right now, both of their daughters. So there is that too. There's a seriousness between them. But just the way that he doesn't see the negative in her. Like he just sees all of her stuff and he's like, yeah, like you got a lot of power, you have a lot of experience. So like let's just use that. Like he's just really good at like honing her skills without knowing it.
I'm like, I love them even more, and just the way they speak back and forth. So there's this
Oh
tiny
my
little
gosh.
jabs at each other, but the small stuff, like, the right buttons to push. And then he's like, I don't doubt it, or something about that. And I was
Did you
like,
did
go ahead, tell me more.
Did you notice that scene? That banter you're referring to? Did you
Hmm.
notice, like, he says that kind of thing? They do a cut where it's, like, Carly's, like honestly, it's like a lustful face, and
Yes.
then they, like, mocked love scene in a way, like, while they're talking and the banter's hot, he's, like, taking off his coat, right? Like, it's such a
Yeah.
tease, like, that whole scene was such a tease, like, it is crazy what they're pulling off with those 2 in those scenes. Like, we are getting literally just, like, fragments here and there, and I'm honestly begging for more, but with every little tidbit that we're getting, like, it's a lot. Like, they're doing a lot with what they're given.
They are, and just like those, like you said, it's just the looks, the way they edit the scene, the little nuances that you catch, like him taking off his coat, her face, and stuff like when he comes down and cocktail hour. So this is like their
That was so
second
cute.
cocktail hour that we see together. So they're like forming routines and like
Yes!
touch
Yes!
points, and you're just like,
Yes.
oh my gosh, they're like, you can picture what their life would be like in that house. Like they're setting us up for a future, and that's what I see, anyways.
It's no, but that's what I mean. I think the whole Valentine thing and Carly has me shook because
Yes.
it's literally having me rethink, you know, there's a history there. We've watched for so long, Carly was in that orbit and there's a strong pull of the Jason and the Sunny. Sure, we've seen, Carly and Sunny being less in each other's orbit. As viewers, we don't doubt their ability to be there for each other. But never in a million years that I see the Carly character finding a future with someone or having this relationship that I would think to be like really, really epic. This is not just like a second place relationship.
Exactly.
It's definitely one for the ages. This is crazy. And it's not just them, there's also Charlotte. Charlotte snuck in. It's pretty bad because it was super
So
cash.
bad.
She's like, "Hey, Dad, I'm in the attic hallway. Are you there?" She goes in and talks to her dad, and I kind of forgot about the whole thing. when I saw that, I blacked out. I'm like, what storm? What information about Nina?
What's
Why
last
is
week?
why is this girl here? And then she tells him about Nina. And just that fact alone, even though she doesn't say it, right? Like the only comment ever made was between Danny and Charlotte saying, didn't know your dad and Carly were friends. That was it. That's as far
Yes.
as those two even considered what was going on. These two haven't considered like the Lulu betrayal of it all.
Right?
Or, Danny considering the fact that Carly is someone he knows to be significant to his dad, and all of this is happening. Carly's holding and hiding a fugitive. None of this is getting through to those kiddos, like, at
No.
all. But I think just the way they're showing Charlotte, how she feels about loyalty, feeling that Nina betrayed her.
Yes.
She has complicated feelings about her mom. Like she loves her mom, but her mom loves one part of her. And there's this whole other part that is so clear that someone like Carly can easily make room for. Because they parent differently. It's not like
Yes.
Carly really went into a coma for 4 years, but I think even that aside, they just parent differently. We've watched Carly with Jocelyn over the years and with all of her kids. And she's always had this way of she's not going to hide her opinion. She's going to be
Yes.
all up in your life. But oddly enough, she gives them space to be. And she did that a lot with Jocelyn. We definitely saw a lot of their relationship and how special it was. But with Lulu, it's been such a challenge for her and Charlotte because there's a pleading there with Lulu. There's almost like a pleading and a begging of please stay quiet. I can't handle this. And it's really loud and Charlotte has to deal with that. So I think that alone tells me how much Charlotte would appreciate Carly.
Okay. So we talked about a lot of like the dynamics and the change and Valentine and Carly together.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about like Charlotte under, that roof and the fact that she is not related to Danny.
So no. So like she's related to Carly and her dad. That's fine. That happens a lot, I guess. No. Like they're
But just-
related. Charlotte and Danny are related.
Yes, they are, but it's centuries ago.
No. Like I get that you really took to Alexis's argument, right? Because they're not wrong. Like the whole remove cousins things, it does stem from like that joining, that one common thing. But the point is, your grandma is cousins with Valentine.
Yes, 1000%.
Okay? So I mean, how far can you run from that? Like when you go, hey, grandma, if you have to ask your grandma if you're related to your crush, you have to stop and go, huh? And so it's not that they're not related. It's that the story is, hey, guys, we crunched the numbers and, we're not that related. So to be honest, I didn't see any green lights, but I think everyone's awkward silence this week on the topic suggested we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead with this. Like Alexis went over to talk to Jason. Sonny was all up and laughing. He's like, "That's hilarious."
Yes, I loved his face. He gets an early start for some face acting there.
Yeah. And then Jason did a good job, like not even talking about it, but drawing it out of Danny and pulling the whole "I trust you." Cool. Why? What's your project? Do you want the coordinating info? I could help you.
So my whole thing is, can
Yeah.
you imagine Sunday dinner? Valentine, Carly, Charlotte, her boyfriend cousin Danny, and Jason all at Sunday dinner, hanging out in this
Yes.
new family dynamic.
That's what I mean. Like it's spectacular. But that's what I mean. You can't list those guests at a family dinner and then tell me you're not related. Like when your girlfriend's dad is all up being family with your grandma, your family. Like if you have to go to a family function and you see each
you're
other
all there,
your family. Like I'm just, So like that is happening. Anyway, I mean, look, this is the same soap opera that had Lulu kiss her half brother Ethan. You know what I mean? He didn't even put up a hand in front of his mouth and been like, or he didn't like put his hand to her forehead and go, "No, I'm your bro." Like he didn't do that. He just let this girl think that there were vibes. Like Britt and Nathan almost hooked up, but I think Nathan told her, yeah. Like she was drunk and they were together and it was like, oh, good thing we found out. Like, I think Gigi likes to go really close to the sun there. This time they were like, you know what? we've been wanting to. Let's just do this. Like,
Fudge.
it's so weird. Like, I can't even
I
understand
agree.
being in the room, looking at the family trees and just being like, these trees aren't close enough. Let's do something about it. Maybe these branches should date. Okay. Yeah.
You know, it's like if you don't have budget to hire a new love interest, just leave it alone.
But what sucks is people brought it up. I think it sucks. Like, because before you brought it up, I was so into this. I was like loving this dynamic, loving the generational vibes, you know, like what this represents, plus their own unique little thing. And then everyone who watches was like, they're related. And I was like, what? And then the show decides to go, they're related. And they walked us through it. Like, that was incredible because, you know what's funny? It's like presenting the same argument, but feeling like you're proving your point. Like, the audience pulled out the family tree and was like, these guys are freaking related. And then GH pulls out the family tree and was like, these guys, sort of. It was like the same family tree, two different conclusions.
Yep.
Yeah, and Jason's like, it's cool. He's like, I gotta go, man. He's like, no one ever prepared me for this kind of parenting. Like, when I thought of giving my son dating advice or just listening to him talk, didn't picture this. And then Johnny brought up Jake. He's like, oh, plus it's his brother's girl. And I'm like, ew, Rocco? Like, that's his sister. I don't think that's how Rocco sees Charlotte. But then Jake and Charlotte had a thing. I'm like, first of all, no one knows where Jake is.
Exactly.
And their thing was one episode. There was an episode. Remember when Charlotte was torturing Anna and Valentine basically took care of all the teens. He took them all like trick-or-treating. They never really showed anything, but they were having a vibe, Charlotte and Jake. But that was really it. It was like the Halloween episode, a couple of episodes around there, and then, you know, she got shot.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So that doesn't really count. Unless he's going to come back later and be like, I was interested in Charlotte. It's exactly like Michael and Morgan when they were fighting over that girl, Kiki.
Okay, I was like, I know who you're talking about.
I'm like, that girl.
That girl.
But they were fighting over Kiki, and Morgan is like, I'm going to marry her. She's related to you, so hopefully that'll stop things. It didn't, but I mean, they weren't related, but still. It feels like that, but it's not okay. But it's happening. He was all nervous. He was like
totally
texting.
happening.
Yeah, he was like texting her. He's like, do you want to talk? Okay, what are we doing? Valentine learns that Danny knows. And so, of course, you understand from Valentine's perspective. He's like, this is serious. And you told a boy, you know, on so many levels, this is disturbing for him. I can see how it was like reckless or risky from his point of view. But to be honest, Charlotte made such a good point that Danny is not most people. Plus his family. Okay. There is such a thing as family loyalty, Daddy. So, Papa, you know?
Papa, we're good.
Yeah. So she made a good point about like him understanding these situations and who his father is. But damn, wow. But you know, she was pretty level-headed because even when it was time to go, Valentine was the one who was like, oh, already? And she had to be like, no, like I gotta go so the cops don't get suspicious.
I know.
So look,
responsible.
I can see Charlotte kind of really taking to Carly.
Yes.
I think she'll value anyone who cares about her dad because not many people feel that way about him, but also the fact that like it's a part of her too, right? You know, it's the part of her like that loves her dad. Like she said, Nina was a place where I could talk about that part, but it's also the part that Charlotte has been hiding or having to like stuff down ever since she got back. It's like there is the part of her that's really experienced that has a dad like Valentine, and she's not a regular girl. And it's going to be crazy to see, you know, how her relationship grows with Carly and perhaps the animosity with Lulu because like Carly will be like her stepmom.
Yes, it's all
I
very
love it.
confusing.
I love it so hard.
Amazing.
Yes, Lulu. Look, I saw her with Nathan. This is what's hard because it's dramatic. Like what's going on is dramatic. But at the same time, like how can you kind of blame her? It's bad. Like it's so bad on paper. But like who do you expect these coma people to vibe with? Honestly, regular folks who haven't slept for years on end. How do you connect with those people who have lived like consecutive lives? No deaths.
Every day.
Yeah. Like every day they were alive in the one life. Oh, so you were there for all the years you had a child. That's crazy. You didn't go to sleep and they grew? Like, no. I didn't have chia pets. I had children, like, it's just crazy. So, like, look, of course, like, I'm, like, freaking out because we see Maxie, right? So she's back this week. We see her lying in the bed. So this is crazy
Yeah.
because now we have the visual of Maxie, and Maxie is a huge reason why this is very dramatic, along with Dante. But when Brooklyn enters the picture and has the conversation, I was like, she brought up some points. Like, I wasn't even thinking of that. Like, the fact that Lulu was begging and pleading for time and space,
Yes.
and Brooklyn didn't even do it harshly, but kind of
No.
showing her. And I loved what she said. Like, I mean, while it wasn't some crazy all out fight, I think there is
Mhm.
some satisfaction in the fact that, like, it was done in a calm way, a respectful way, and
Yes.
it landed with Lulu. Cause, like, I mean, you can say crazy stuff, but it's always nice when it lands. And Lulu is very much in a different place, but I think it was really fair when Brooklyn said, "Oh, that's so great that you found understanding just in time when you needed it."
That was the best, the best. I loved it.
Like, it's bad. Like, for Lulu to be like, "No, I made a mistake and I really learned from it." And I'm like, "Yeah, but the only person you never told it was a mistake was her. You did all that
Exactly.
growing privately while you made Brooklyn feel like crap." You're
Yeah,
like, "I
totally.
never apologized, and I told you I would never apologize to you, and I was justifying what I did, but I grew in private." Like, maybe you just can't see it, but that's okay. What? So, how happy were you to have seen Maxie?
Okay, before we leave and go to Maxie, it's just really funny for us, like that whole Lulu depiction, because that's what we see when we watch the show, right? So it's very interesting, like, oh, what Obrek, she's changed. Like, everybody should love her. Why doesn't everybody love her? Because they're not seeing what we're seeing? So I just thought that was a really cute
Okay, but
play on the world of soap operas, right?
that's the dilemma, okay? Of course I think Lulu changed. Should I
Yes.
think she should socialize with the rest of Port Charles? No,
Yes.
I don't, okay? I like, maybe that's also why I'm down for this, is that with the Nathan story, she's literally just in a corner with Nathan.
True.
Maybe that's what I like, because she's not causing any trouble because she's being isolated and kept in a corner. And perhaps that works for me. Like, maybe that's also why I like her. Maybe it's not that she grew, but it's because they haven't let her be with anyone else. They're like, minimal interaction with your children, don't interact with your family, talk to Laura, talk to Nathan, and you will be likable. Like, maybe
I
that's
can be
part
down
of
with
the
that.
appeal for me. So it's like, of course, I think she's grown or something, but I'm also not the biggest cheerleader. Like, I feel weird about it. Like, I'm gonna defend her, but then 2 seconds later be like, "I don't know." Like, especially when I saw Maxie wake up. It's like, that's
I
bad. And
know.
obviously, it changes things, because to have a conversation with Brooklyn, and I mean, that was crazy to me. Like, she's still processing. She got advice from her mom. He got advice from his sister. This is like the first time they're even talking it out, really, like, really truly being alone since the kiss and talking about what they want to do. And to go from there to this conversation with Brooklyn, and being like, we need space and time to explore this. I'm like, you and Nathan barely got there. Like, you
Yes.
barely got there where it feels like you could actually move forward. Like, these were just words. Like, you're talking about feelings, but you didn't feel comfortable with a kiss. Apparently, you're gonna have a kiss candy and reserve it for later. You know what I mean? Like, you guys aren't comfortable. Like, you have these feelings, it's overwhelming. And now you're sitting here going to bat for your non-existent romance. Now you're going to
Right?
bat. I mean, look, I think that speaks to how you're feeling. And for some reason, it's easier when you're talking to Brooklyn about it, but it certainly came out, like, I need the time and space. It's obviously worthwhile to explore. But then you have Brooklyn saying, at the risk of losing Maxie entirely. Like, that's different, right? They've been in a bubble, and now you have, like, Brooklyn kind of really showing what could happen. Like, Laura was really supportive. And I mean, why wouldn't she be? That's her daughter. And on paper, yeah, like, Laura's not wrong. And I think Nina ultimately supported Nathan, but I think Nina was way more aware of how crazy this was because of her relationship with Maxie and because of, like, Dante. I think Nina wasn't as forward as, let's say, Laura was, as
Mhm.
encouraging, but she's encouraging Nathan because of Nathan. Whereas I found Laura was really encouraging Lulu, but also encouraging the situation. But I also think Laura's long experience and history contributed to why she pushed for that, because she knows that like life changes dramatically. Like you live many lifetimes and so does everyone around you. And even when these crazy things happen, everybody around you adjusts. So I can understand that, but I feel like Brooklyn is closer to the situation and she's not wrong for bringing that point up. Like,
I totally agree, and I also think that Laura maybe thought the coma would go on longer.
right. And that's it exactly it too, because I felt that when Brooklyn was talking to her and she's like, "Do you really want to risk losing Maxie?" I honestly felt like Lulu was like, "Oh, she's still not here." You know what I mean? Because
Yes.
I think it's so different when like now that she's woken up, I want to see how brave Lulu's gonna be.
Right?
How brave? Oh, I have to explore this. I don't know. Like, look at Maxie's face hole and try to tell me you're going to be in the same
Exactly.
position. I think it's fair that you're willing to explore it when your best friend's probably never going to wake up and you already feel like you lost her. And this is a nice thing to happen to you.
Yes, I totally agree. I think that that played a huge part in Laura's advice, Lulu's path forward, but everything is halted now, right?
Well, yeah, because I think it really drove the point home, which is like, do you really want to lose Maxie over this? And then you hear that Maxie wakes up and it brings back the gravity of that reality that you could have actually lost this person. Like, really? Like, you know what I mean? It brought back the fragility of life and all that stuff. But what did you think? Like, were you shocked? Like, yeah, she was back from a coma. Did you expect her to stand up and just start
No,
talking?
I wrote in my notes like coma people in Port Charles really wake up strong.
Yes, but you have to understand medically, this coma was
Hmm.
less than 4 years. Of course, she would have a spring in her step.
Right,
If
right, of
you've been in a coma
course.
for 4 years, you need to, like, wiggle for a day or 2, and then you could go run on a highway.
But what about 7? Coma, car accident, fine.
Okay, so the thing about this 7-year coma is that there's no way this man was in a coma for 7 years. He was living a life, like, driving a
Yes.
car, like, he was fine, he was healed. So that's also something that I find really alarming that everyone is just fine with.
I know. It is so beyond me. Like, I know it's maybe time until we get to his storyline, but I am very curious as to why nobody's digging into where he's been.
They're like, "So he was in plaid, he was in a car, it crashed, let's give him a job. Let's give him
Psych
a job."
test, passed, give him
Yeah.
a gun. Let's go.
Yeah, so all the people that kinda showed up when he crashed the car, let's make him one of those people now. I think we're good. It's like, I don't get it. But yeah, this is insane to me. Like, just hearing her voice, I love watching the scenes. I love the kids'
Yes.
faces when she woke up. I mean, Spinelli was really good about the whole allowing Felicia to tell her, and I mean, in a way,
Yes.
it allows Maxie to have a more genuine reaction where she didn't need to
Mhm.
kinda be concerned with, Spinelli's feelings, but I was
Feeling.
just shocked that the kids wouldn't have spilt that. And I
I
mean, the
know.
way James said it, like, "Oh, dad's learning," and Maxie's like, "Oh my gosh, she's calling Spinelli dad now." And then to have, like, Felicia be like, "No, no, he means Nathan." And she's like, "What?" Like, I don't even know how this girl's gonna take it because that
Right?
made me think something else. So one of the rationales that Nathan had was that Maxie moved on with her life. To be honest, it's not okay for Lulu to use it. Like, it's one thing for it's Nathan's
My
rationale
word.
when
Yes.
Maxie moves on. I was like, "Oh, it sounds so
Don't
bad coming out of your
oh,
mouth."
so
Like, and
bad.
I understand the vulnerable spot she was in.
Yes.
No, 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 no. So the thing is, when Nathan was saying that, he's like, she lived her life, and she did. She had a baby with one guy. She almost got married, and now she's with Spinelli. But I think he fails to realize, like, girl's in a coma. She doesn't know you're alive. You never came
Yeah.
home and had her lay eyes on you. And the
Mhm.
idea that she moved on, absolutely she did. But it's a time warp to think that she would see you and not go back in time in that moment. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
because of her absence, and he just stepped into her life without her. I think, yeah, that's tough. And he just saw everything settled, but he never actually saw her, nor her him. That changes things.
Changes everything.
Do I think it necessarily means that he's gonna fall back for Maxie? Not necessarily, but I think it's gonna be
Mhm.
really intense and confusing for a bit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so speaking of intense and confusing, that's pretty much how I feel about Lucas and Pascal's relationship. While I think that Lucas can be a little dramatic. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say I'm kind of on his side for the whole accusing Pascal of being jealous of his relationship. I
Yes.
am sorry, but like it sounded crazy because we all know, like, oh my gosh, Lucas, crime is happening. Like, this is about the crime in the background. Actually, no, this is about the crime in the basement.
The basement crime, the catacombs crime.
But how do you ignore the fact that Pascal, like the faces he's making, you know what I mean? The things he's saying to Lucas about Marco sharing more with him, that he's more comfortable with him. And the fact that, like, when Lucas kissed Marco goodbye, Pascal had a face.
Right?
I loved how appalled he was. He was so, like, French from France appalled when that happened. But Lucas was pretty rude with 2 fingers just flicking him out the door. Like, he cut Carly off to kind of tell Pascal to go away. And I do think it's weird, though. You know what I mean? Like, you have news and, like, your boyfriend thinks, "Oh, the butler should be here to hear this." No.
Right?
The
No,
butler
thank
should be
you.
here to hear my sister apologize. But he was laying it on thick, you know, all of this crap with Pascal, but then the way that he was with Carly. Like it was kind of like he was desperate to be mad at her. He was desperate for her to remain the villain, and he seemed to really, really love being the victim.
Yes, totally. Such a different side.
Like she's saying sorry, and then he's like, "Well, it's not good enough." Like he's straight up telling her to her face. Like he's not even pouting. Like, "Oh, nothing is good enough." Like he told her. He's like he's that confident. He's like, "It's not good enough." And I'm like, and she's like, "Okay, like what else do you want?" Like
Right?
she showed up, she talked to you, she said she's open to like having him in her life and all this stuff. Anyways, they make up, and then Lucas has to come back home. Why the boat couldn't wait for him, I don't know. Oh, I guess he didn't get on the boat, but still, like, it was 2 minutes. That's like a logistics corner, messing with Michelle's brain. Why would you do that? So like, you both gotta be on the boat. I'm gonna have to stop because it's bothering me about their travels, but it was worth it to see Lucas. Like, why would you do that? Like, you just made up with your sister. You wanna
Yeah.
catch up. You're about to get on a boat. Oops, I forgot my wallet. I guess we have to take 2 different boats now? No, go get your wallet. She could wait in the boat. Like, she was going to stay to have cocktails with you. You're the one who had work, not her. She has no place to be. You had a place to be, so she could wait for you.
It was too much. It was too much for him too soon.
So for me, no, it was too much for me because everybody else lived their lives and moved on. Like, not a person was stuck on this the way I'm getting stuck on it. But what did you think when he actually heard something? Like, he actually heard stuff that made him go, "Oops, my sister was right. How could she possibly have figured this out?"
Okay,
You know, was it the
it was
newspaper?
wild.
Was it Jason's kidnapping? Was it when she was held at gunpoint? Was it when he kidnapped Sasha and almost blew her up? Like, how did Carly put it together?
I just couldn't believe that the noise sounds in Port Charles were actually working that day because how many times have people been in close proximity and they don't hear anything? So I was actually shocked that the sound went into his ear. I felt like
Oh
you
my
in the moment was like,
gosh.
it went into his ear hole. Oh my gosh, he's actually hearing, he's actually listening, and he listened some more. Like he didn't just run away. He stayed for most of that conversation. And I was petrified for him.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised Pascal didn't nab him.
Right?
Like, does Pascal have help? Because, like, I mean,
He is
he,
the help.
no, but I mean, like, I feel like Lucas could take him.
Big time.
You know, like he can't overpower Lucas. With a weapon, maybe, yeah. But anyways, we're all concerned that like Lucas is gonna wind up in a basement. But I think we
Yeah.
didn't factor in alternatives. Only one thing happens on a parapet. Like 2 people
Oh my gosh, it's so
don't walk
true.
out on a parapet and both walk back in.
I got you. I got you.
I hope not. I mean, he's a doctor, so he can probably treat himself.
If he remembers he's a doctor because obviously he's gonna have amnesia.
And then he's gonna float away.
So like, okay, they're on the parapet. Do you picture like Pascal just like running out like a football player and then just like
I don't know, but
pushing him off the edge?
I don't think Lucas is thinking this through. Like, first of all,
No,
like, I
no.
feel like he was colder on the parapet. Like, I think he was like in short sleeves. And I'm like, you are not prepared for anything. Like, what are you gonna do? Hi, boyfriend. Turns out you're criming. I think I'm gonna move out. No,
That's not how this
no,
works. He's such a newbie.
no.
Yes.
Like, you literally, like, what? You don't have belongings. Like, let's just be
Let's
clear
be
about
real.
that. He, like, lived at Carly's and lived at his aunt's. Like, he doesn't have furniture. So you're telling me you can't buy a couple shirts?
He's a
You're a
doctor.
doctor. You don't even wear clothes. So I just can't. I think it was so dangerous. I can't believe Elizabeth. She's like, no. I can never go on my date with Rick knowing you were upset. But I'm going to get you kidnapped and go on my date. So, like,
It
you know
was
what I mean?
quite peculiar. Like, I know why it needed to happen, but I loved her
Yeah.
conversation of this gray space that Elizabeth lives in right now because she was very much talking about her relationship and history with Rick as opposed to the real life actual dangers of a Marco and a Jens.
Yeah, I was
Completely
like,
different.
what is this girl talking about? She's like, okay, so it's probably something illegal. I mean, it's because of his love that he's lying and protecting you. And I'm like, honestly, I think Lucas could do without your advice. Why don't you run along?
Right?
I could not understand what she was trying to say. She was saying a lot of words. The funniest interaction, though, was when Jason and Joss started talking. And then Joss filled him in on cutting the
Yes.
power source and his face. Like, I loved looking at how long it took him to compute all of that. Like mentally, like he couldn't do it. But then he like said, I thought we were in this together. Like I thought we were a team. I was like, yep. And she's like, I had no time. So she cut the power source. She gave him pretty useful information, like, supporting the theory that he was being manipulated. I guess
Yes.
he'll take those items and get on a plane.
I think so. Like, I'm just happy. I love that they're amping up what Joss can do and like her super spy skills. And like Jason, he's still good at what he does, but they're really framing him as he's stuck in a time and space a little bit, right? Like, he's still the guy you go to. He can still get things done, but Joss is kind of his level and leveling it up. And now they're sharing this information, right?
Yeah. Like, I mean, she got a book from the library. Good for her.
True that.
Yeah.
True.
Or
She made
she
her way
took
to
the
the
action.
island, guys. I don't even know how.
Look, she's doing all right. She's doing all right. She got a little bit more information, I think, from Emma, but again, not like information she easily could have gotten from Jason as well.
Exactly.
But she talked. Gio was all like, stop with the 20 questions. They're friends, but not friends. Essentially, like, Joss will save her grandma.
Yeah, totally.
And then she was like, I have to go tell my mom in person. I'm like, I don't know, her to FaceTime? Like, what? What's going on here, everybody?
I didn't read anything about her taking a hiatus, but it felt like that's what it was. She's like, "I have
That's,
exams coming up, like, I gotta go."
yeah, like that's what's going on. And so because of that, it seems like, well, I don't know, like Gio relied on his mom, like he went to go talk to her. And apparently he's like really close with Bailey Lou and all the children.
I think that's so adorable. He has such a great character, and I love that every aspect of Brooklyn's life, he's, like, right there. Like, they're so similar, and I love that they're showing that.
Well, I just think it was a powerful conversation, like with the anger, pulled away, the fact that they can look back and actually find value in the moments they have and realize that they actually do have a lot of shared moments. So I thought that was really, really cute. I really love that. I think it's definitely like a gold star moment. But yeah, it kind of really took me aback when Emma was leaving.
Me too. It kind of felt like I really had to listen to what she's saying. I'm like, "Okay, so she's, like, leaving, and she's
It's
leaving
like
for a while, and then she's multi-location leaving, but not with Gio." Got it.
it's like how Gladys left. Never occurred to me she was leaving the show.
Right?
I didn't understand because I'm like, she's Gladys. Like, this is Emma. I'm like, I don't get it. I was like, why can't you FaceTime? Why do you have to like pretend go to LA or San Francisco, wherever it is that you're going? Like, you pretend travel to France. Like, what's happening here? Yeah, so that took me by surprise. But yeah, like you talk about like Jason and Joss working together. We don't know what's going to happen, right? If they're going to split up the work and she's really going to like go all out and do the whole Windermere thing on her own while Jason goes off to find Anna,
Mhm.
I'd be shocked. I guess I always saw him as part of the reveal at Windermere. But then again, you've got Valentine.
Well, that's exactly it.
Mhm.
I like the reshifting of things because it's not so obvious who the hero is gonna be, who's gonna be working together, who comes out on top. Like, it's very interesting, this multi-layered. I mean, it's a lot of moving parts, and I really still don't know what's going on and how they're gonna use cold fusion, but it's, like, super dangerous, guys, and people need to stop it.
Speaking of people coming out on top, Curtis pulled ahead and won the paternity test. Why? How did you
I
feel? I
was,
was
disappointed, angry,
Yeah.
you?
It was tough. I was hoping for, like, more drama. I really hope there's more drama to come. Like, I would have absolutely loved it if Isaiah switched the paternity test, but if he switches the paternity test, it would mean that it was Curtis's baby. So I guess the only hope I could have is that it's not Curtis's baby and it's like a false positive. One could only hope. But who would do that? Someone has to
Well,
do that. I hope somebody did that.
I know, and I think that's why they gave us that shower scene with Dr. Gannon because they knew everybody would be upset with the results.
Like, it's a lot, right? She does the paternity test. I don't know how she kept it together with Curtis, and I don't think she has a
Honestly,
choice
yeah.
to because of his previous threat about legal action. Like, Trina shows up. Like, she calls Trina to be truthful, right? She's being as open as she can be about a situation, tells her she's doing the paternity test, and then Trina shows up. And then I liked how Portia held her own to be like, yeah, and Isaiah's staying here too. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like when she showed
Yeah.
up at the storm. Yes, she made a mistake. Yes, she's your mom. Yes, she's imperfect. But I love that she's still reminding her, like, I'm still an adult. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to like what I do, but I'm also not going to like tiptoe around you.
Exactly. Okay, just a moment, like, I guess I was tired when I watched this episode, but when she gets the results and Trina's like, "So who's the dad?" And she's like, "Well, you share the same dad." But I think it's like the words that she used. I was like, "Can you just tell me who the father?"
I know, like, she couldn't say the name, but
I felt so bad.
I love how, like, nobody cared how disappointed she looked.
I know.
You know? It's like Trina and Curtis are, like, hugging. You know, Isaiah was generous in, like, congratulating Curtis, and Curtis said not a word. And then he keeps thanking her for the paternity test and,
Ugh.
like and acting like his aggressive actions are just over with and done. And she said it. She's like, "Well, you were threatening me." You know what I mean? Like, "What did you want me to do?"
Yes.
They agreed to 50-50. And I mean, again, regardless of the flashback that Jordan had where Portia threatened her, I mean, look, that was early on. The idea that, like, Curtis would choose, his baby over Jordan. But, at the end of the day, you have to be an adult and you can't have control with who Curtis is with. Same for her, right? She has Isaiah and the baby is going to
Yes.
be around her. So she can't be making those types of demands. So 50-50. Like, it is what it is. So unhappy. I just want Curtis to be kind of miserable. However, misery is to come. So when he was talking to Jordan, I don't know if you
Mhm.
remember this, but I remember she had a medical crisis. Remember that?
Yes, I
The
said
whole Ryan Chamberlain thingy. So she has the medical crisis, and I remember when she finally got out of it or during that time frame, Curtis brought up having kids. And remember, this woman had TJ and her son's a doctor.
yes.
And
Yes.
so that was something that Curtis wanted. And I think it's really hilarious to believe that the woman who didn't really want to start over and have a baby with you, it was simply that she didn't want to carry it, but she would absolutely love the fabulous life of a newborn child in her, like, sky-rise condo. We've heard for, like, months on end about how Jordan is just loving the high life, you know what I mean? Like, when
Yes.
Dante offered her the job, I'm like, she is not gonna go to this woman is not gonna go for a pay cut, She made it so clear that she made way more money than she's ever made in her whole life. She buys and furnishes her place. The last time she had a place, she was in and out, didn't spend a lot of time in it. She owns this amazing condo, and here's her, like, ex-husband, her man friend, her boyfriend being like, "We're gonna do this together. I'm gonna bring a crying baby here with us." What?
Oh, it's like you add a layer to, and I love it because me too. I was waiting for that conflict of like a custody, not necessarily a battle, but that back and forth, not this like one conversation and done with. And then we talked about the whole, Drew Jordan potential spark down the
Yes.
road, his redemption. And you're painting this clear path because at first, we discussed, okay, maybe it's about the baby and all of that. But it still is about the baby, but in such a different way that I am
Yeah.
loving what you're saying.
Well, because Jordan has the flashback, right, of that threat Portia made, but it's not relevant, right? There's 50-50 like custody agreement, like Portia spoke to Isaiah about it, she was frustrated about it, but she also said that she's 100% sure that they won't last, but it's because she knows Curtis, you know what I mean? That you have to be perfect in order to be with him. But yeah, I think that like at some point Jordan, I think, wanted that closure. She liked the chemistry that they were having. I think she was open to the idea of having him back in her life. I think that when Portia was fighting with her, as much as I love Jordan, I think she got into this really weird competitive space with Portia.
Yes.
And so I think when it came to the baby, it was about fighting for Curtis and winning something. Because in the Curtis circle, Portia, is a liar. She's awful. She's the bad one. She's the cause of
Mhm.
everything. So, I mean, in that thing, I think she wanted to defend Curtis, but it's very different to defend Curtis's right to have access to his baby than to like be there on those sleepless nights.
Right?
Because Drew has a nanny. It's
It
very
does.
different. That is different. So I think it's gonna be really funny. And I mean, also the fact that, like, look, after everything she did to Portia, like saying to Curtis, when they were talking, Jordan did express to him that she didn't really approve of his methods.
Yes.
And I was like, talk about lying to yourself. Like, I'm not used to this version of Jordan. But when
Yes.
she kind of tried to praise him, but also tried to convince herself of something. She's like, well, you didn't push further or go through with it because you respect her agency. I'm like, no, as agency as a
No.
woman. I'm like, no, he doesn't. He really doesn't respect Portia at all. And it's not necessarily because she lied. It's just how he is. You know what I mean? Like, you don't satisfy me. You're a villain. And he has to do that because he refuses to acknowledge his role in why the marriage fell apart. Like, he loves the fact that she got pregnant and there's proof of the fact that she was with Isaiah. And I'm just so fed up of the cheating thing. Like, the why Curtis
I
can't
know.
reiterate that they were broken up, especially the fact that Trina is carrying on with Ava, saying, like, oh, it's like my mom cheated. And it's like, if my mom didn't cheat, this could have been a good moment. And I'm like, she didn't
No.
cheat. They were no longer together. Like, your dad was running to Jordan. They just don't have a pregnancy to flaunt in everyone's face.
Exactly.
So, like, I understand that Trina is obviously hurt and there's a lot of trauma there, like being lied most of your life and having this happen. And I mean, look, she's still processing the fact that apparently her parents can get divorced. It's like her parents were divorced. Your other dad, like that you
Yes.
just don't seem to care about anymore. And now you're like, all as an adult freaking out because you're getting divorced, freaking out because your dad was into Jordan. Like, there's a lot there that Trina needs to sit with and process, but I do think it has a lot to do with her personal growth and storyline, right? This, like you pointed out, Curtis is who he is, but this is going to be something in Trina's storyline that she works through and works out. So I can't wait for more Trina storyline. She doesn't have a ton of life experience. So I'm looking forward to her finding herself in like a sticky situation where she can finally see the gray in life and understand that, her mom is a person. Like, I think Ava did a really good job trying to convey that.
Yes, I love that very much that she is the perfect example of how to get through that situation. Like Trina is accepting of Ava and everything that comes with that.
Exactly. You can't sit across from Ava and go, I don't think my mom deserves a chance. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane to kind of
No.
act like it's not on the table. And this idea, like, oh, I don't know if I could trust her. And I'm like, it's not like Portia, like other people in the show, when they do something wrong, all they do is defend it.
Yes.
Portia has not looked at you and said, I love what I did. Like, I'll do it again. Like, she's expressing that she doesn't like that she did that. It was a different situation. It was more about timing, and it came out before she was willing to. Like, it is what it is. Like, I know it looks bad on paper, but Portia had no intention of lying about the baby to anybody. She just wanted the information first because she knew how bad everybody would take it. So I just think it kind of sucks that she doesn't notice that Portia is actually trying to be different and you don't grow in like a month or 2. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah, so she kind of bugs me with all of this. I'm really disappointed for Isaiah and Portia. They were both so sad.
They were so sad, but I love that, he took the time to be able to say to her, like, he still wants to be with her. He still cares about her. He still wants to be a part of this baby's life.
Yeah.
And that's pretty huge and significant because I can't see Curtis being that kind of man if he was put in that situation.
He's not that now, right? He's
Well,
just jumping
exactly.
in between, like he loves nothing more than a fresh start. Like, that's what this man loves. And so I think it's going to be interesting when you watch Isaiah and Portia together. I think they're going to like their relationship is going to grow. There is some honesty there. Like, they were accepting of raising a baby together. I'm sorry, but Jordan never accepted that role. Like,
No,
she never
never.
accepted that level of involvement. She was like, "You should have access to your baby." That's what she said. That's as far as it went. "You should have your baby for sure."
And
She
those
never.
days that you have your baby, that's when we're not dating. That's when you stay at your place and I stay at my place when we super busy with work, guys.
Exactly. Whereas Isaiah and Portia have really been on the same page about like
Mm,
what their lives will look like. So I think that will drive Curtis crazy is watching them bond and get closer. And then that's gonna bother him. And I think there's just gonna be a lot of friction between him and Jordan. I can't wait for it.
I know I'm here for it. I need her the way you described it with the whole Drew situation.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, I really hope so.
okay, so we covered most of the things and most of the stuff. I just want
Yes.
your quick opinion on
Mm-hmm.
Miss Lucy's revenge plot.
My gosh, this girl is out of her mind. You believe you're running your mouth. Sidwell is like, if he is what you believe him to be, a good man, not a criminal, why are you sticking a mobster after him? And like
Right?
one of my favorite moments is I can get so close to him and stab him in the back. And Sonny's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, I just love them together. Like, this is crazy because they alluded to this a long time ago. The fact
Yes.
that the way we're gonna take Jens down is something to do with Lucy and Ava. I don't know how, because again, so many moving parts.
Right.
And Lucy is getting herself involved and she wants so much vengeance. I'm
So
just like, this is insane. I feel like Lucy like is a little bit like Britain that way. It's like they just expected so much. Like in terms of being that number one spot, they have like the same perspective.
true.
But like Ava got some pretty good insults in, being like he was circling for a year and got nowhere. I was
I
like,
know, but
ouch.
she gave a really good line. It's one of my favorite lines, so I'll give it away now. Lucy is like, "How much art do you need to thrust upon the man?"
I
He
know.
was like, "No one is thrusting anything."
No, the dialogue was so good.
Uh,
But I feel like Lucy got her leverage showing up at the end of the show, being willing to have dinner with Ava. Insane.
yes.
I don't know
Yes,
where
that
it's
is
going,
I
but
don't know either, but I'm here for it because it's gonna all be so funny and ridiculous. Of all the people watching them, all the people plotting, all these moving parts, and like Lucy takes him down out of like love revenge.
how?
I
Okay,
don't know.
not that any of this matters. I don't really know how much Michael needs Nina in his back pocket, but one thing I was thinking when he was talking to her, when it turns out that all he asked was, be nice to Jacinda, I was thinking I would have buttered up Nina and kept her in my pocket a little bit because she was talking about how, you gave custody like to Willow, and he was like, yeah, it was time the kids saw her. If I was Michael, I would have tried to elevate Nina on my side a little bit, and I would have said something like, look, like I know she's your daughter, and of course, I'm glad the kids get to see their mother. I'm not at all asking you to spy on her, but I think I'd be comfortable if you could be there to support the kids during this transition and maybe like be
Yes.
around and make sure that like she's okay. You know what I mean? And that they're okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like doing
Yeah.
that could have really, like, if what he wanted was just like a detente between them and like peace and more wiggle room for Jacinda, I think working with her in that way and making her feel like she's some kind of like an expert and could be helpful,
I
I
know.
think would have went a long way with Nina.
I totally agree. I think he really missed the mark there. He could have
Yeah.
absolutely done. Okay. Oh my gosh. The other fun line I have was when Carly and Valentine were plotting together. And
Mhm.
he's like, "You can't go, like, what's your point of entry?" And then she's like, "Oh, a super top secret little known entry called the front door."
That was so good. I love that because I was getting scared for those 2, and I'm like, "You don't have a plan," but then they had a plan, and I love when she came back and he deemed whatever she did acceptable. He's like, "It's acceptable. You have a return invitation. That's good." And I was like, "This is crazy. This is
It's
crazy."
so cute because it was major approval, and basically
Oh,
she
she loved
got,
it.
like, an honorary WSB badge, truly.
Okay, another favorite line on my part, it was between
Yes.
Cody and Tracy, like, I can't with Cody, like, honestly.
Honestly.
But when she goes to him, "Are you reading this under duress?" I'm like, he can't
Good.
he can't blame people for, like, treating him the way. It's not because they think he's dumb, he's just acting like a
No.
dum-dum, and it's just too
Yes.
much. Okay, something happened and I freaked out at the TV. It was when they were talking to Danny about the Cassadine and they named that, like, common relative,
Mhm.
and how did I know that? Remember when we were trying to remember who Alexis's dad was?
Yes.
And then I kept trying to guess. I'm like, "It's Vonovich. It's something crazy like that." And then it was Mikos, but
Yes.
then when they were talking about the common relative, it was Ivanovich.
That's so
How would I know
crazy the way
that?
your I don't know. Your
Don't
brain is
know.
amazing.
So it was one of the Cassadines, just the wrong one. Could not believe
Exactly.
that. Yeah, my brain was made for General Hospital. Like, I have a
It
life.
really
I do, I
was.
swear. But like, I can do this well. I can do General Hospital well. I could watch it really good.
I'm gonna give a new kind of star today.
Okay.
A topless one because we got two
What?
this
Oh,
week.
to Isaiah?
Isaiah and then one for Michael.
Oh, yeah. But then it got me thinking about that shower. I'm like, wait a second. How is everyone going to use that
Exactly.
shower?
Exactly.
Never occurred
It's
to me
only for
before.
the hot doctors.
But
Only
I
for
love
hot
that.
doctors, guys.
I love that. And love scenes. That's when they use it. When the men
True.
shower and then love scenes.
Very true. Wow,
Yeah.
it's a great hospital.
I've been going in there, like your hands are covering your eyes, but you can see right through. Excuse me. Everybody do
Is this the waiting room?
They told me I could find a doctor in here.
Oh my gosh. And I also have a star for the Lucy Sunny scenes just because of their banter and his face. Like, I think when
Yes.
she buzzed at the door, she's like, just the man I wanted to see. And he's like, since you're at my house.
I love how fast Alexis ran out of there. But no,
That was
I love like
amazing.
just the history between these two. Like they've been on the show for so long. But no, I think Sunny really killed it with the face. I was gonna say face acting, but the face smiling. Like all the smiles in the background was really cute.
Very true. There were so many stars to give out. Who do you want to get stars to this week?
Everybody, I think. Except for
Perfect.
Cody, except for Pascal. Sorry. I'm gonna say everybody. Everybody, especially the family tree. Honorable mention. Okay.
Okay, so who are you going to give your cutie pie moment of the week to?
Gio and Brooklyn.
Oh, I love
I had
it.
one, right? It was so good.
So good. Okay, let us know your handle, where we can
Yes.
find you.
At Cutie Pie Coloring. The coloring book's available on Amazon. So, I mean, if you know kids, you know people who have kids, you know people who are like, what do I buy kids? There's that. And also the link is on our profile.
Oh my gosh, I love it, folks. To all my peeps celebrating Family Day weekend, have a fabulous long
Non-existent
weekend.
holiday. She means happy Valentine's. Like, that's what we're talking about here.
That too. Happy Heart Day. We love y'all. Okay, we talked about all things. We covered all this stuff. Holy cow, that's a wrap, folks. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.